Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Giselle and I review fragrances. Today I want to share with you my top 10 head turners for winter nights. In some of the fragrances I'm going to talk about are Hippie Rose by Heeley, 160 by Molinard, Eleganza, Luminosa by Linari, and quite a few more. So if you are interested, stay tuned. So the first one, as I mentioned, was Hippie Rose. I'm not gonna talk about them in any particular order. It's just whatever comes first. But I want to start this list with Hippie Rose by the House of Heeley. Hippie Rose is not your typical rose. It's a hippie rose. It is, you have to smell the fragrance to understand what I'm saying. It's very boho chic. It's very sheer, it's transparent. It's more like rose water to me, like the rose water you use for pastries, like in the Middle Eastern pastries. That type of rose water. It's stunning. It has great sillage. It's a patchouli based fragrance. It's a chypre fragrance actually. It has bergamot, as I said, patchouli. It has labdanum. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's very delicate. It's very aquatic. It's very ozonic as well. It has amazing, amazing sillage. Projection is like about arm length, but sillage is like to die for. Every time I wear this, people ask me what I am wearing. That's why I wanted to include this in the list. And honestly, I think it's a very different type of rose. This is not your velvety rose. This is not your decadent rose. It's not your jammy rose. This is your hippie rose. Give it a try. Amazing fragrance, something different. If you want to, if you're a little bit tired of the rose and the typical roses we see in the market, give it a try. It's amazing. I think it's definitely worth trying. Hippie Rose by Heeley. So guys, the second one is Eleganza Luminosa by the House of Linari. So this bottle is like a decor piece on its own. This is French glass, this is wood, and I don't see if you get to see all the details here, but this is 22 carats gold plating. The fragrance, let's get to the fragrance. It's beautiful. It's super sophisticated. It's very elegant. There's nothing that I haven't smelled before. I can't say this is a groundbreaking fragrance. However, it is absolutely stunning. Sillage is a beast. Staying power, same, like 9, 10 out of 10. People love this. It seems to be like a crowd pleaser. People really enjoy this fragrance. It has orange, bergamot, Amalfi lemon, which is it is a lemon, but it's more fragrant. It's super beautiful. It has rose, freesia, lily as well, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a floral fragrance. It's definitely worth trying. Eleganza Luminosa. Let me tell you, they couldn't have picked a better name because this perfume is so elegant. Beautiful fragrance. Eleganza Luminosa by Linari. So the next one, guys, is Louban. So Louban is by the House of Montale. I think this is a totally underrated fragrance. This is an oriental woody fragrance. It's a leather fragrance, but it is after 45 minutes, after an hour, if you can get past the initial smell, which is pretty sharp, it's very intense, it's very intoxicating. This is definitely a unisex fragrance. I actually think this leans more masculine than feminine, but it's absolutely stunning. And after 45 minutes, after an hour, this becomes more like a skin scent, which is more feminine. It becomes more feminine and more powdery. It's super nice. I think it's totally underrated. It's rose, leather, as you know, a lot of incense as well. So the leather and the incense are very like prominent, like very sharp when you first spray this. But as I said, if you can get past that initial spray, you will get a wonderful fragrance. I think this is totally underrated. This is very nice. Same with Pure Gold. This is another fragrance by Montale. It has exact same color, the same bottle. It's totally underrated. Montale has, I think they have great fragrance that need to be discovered. This is Louban by Montale. If you like leather fragrances, go for this. It's wow. This is to die for. And I can get 10 to 12 hours with this. Even after having a shower, sometimes I cannot get rid of this. It's super, it's a beast. It's a beast. And very, very, very beautiful, elegant, sexy, and powerful. Again, Louban by Montale. So the next one, guys, Cuir Beluga by the House of Guerlain. Oh my God. This is one of my favorite fragrances in my whole collection. So Cuir Beluga is a leather fragrance, but it's not really leather, it's more suede. It's white suede. It's a very velvety suede. It was launched in 2005. It belongs to the Art et l'Amitié collection. So Art et l'Amitié was a collection that the House of Guerlain wanted to launch when they remodeled their flagship store in Paris. And they hired 3 top perfumers to develop a fragrance around a raw material. L'art et l'amitié means the art in the material, the raw materials. And in this case, for this one, was the leather. So the other 2 in the collection are Angélique Noire and Rose Barbare, which, by the way, Rose Barbare was created by Francis Kurkdjian. So Cuir Beluga is stunning. God. It has aldehydes, patchouli, amber, suede, but it's the most beautiful, soft, velvety suede you can ever have. There's no animalic notes here. And the magic really happens in the dry down, because it turns into a very creamy vanilla soft suede fragrance. Yeah, almost, in the dry down you can't even smell the suede. The suede is more prominent at the beginning, in the top and middle notes, but it's a super sophisticated fragrance. I would say it's sweet. This is a sweet leather fragrance. It's very different. I love leather, and I have many fragrances with the leather accord, and I would say this is the most different one. Even White Suede by Tom Ford, you can think they are similar. They are completely different fragrances. This is way sweeter. I think this is more sophisticated. This is richer, this is dense. It's like jammy. It's like almost syrupy, which is strange for a suede fragrance or leather fragrance. So I think this is also underrated. Everybody talks about just Angélique Noire, which is amazing. I love Angélique Noire, nothing against that, but I think even if you don't like suede or even if you don't like leather, you definitely need to try this. It's amazing. I love my Cuir Beluga. It has a lot of vanilla as well. If you like vanilla, if you like sweet fragrances, this is very intoxicating. So if you like that type of fragrances, give this baby a chance. Cuir Beluga by the House of Guerlain. Let's move on with the next one, which is none other than Samsara. So let me tell you, Samsara, oh my God. It's an oriental woody fragrance. The original one has been launched in 1989. It had, I don't know how many reformulations and repackaging this fragrance had since it was launched, but this is the most intoxicating and the most unique and spectacular sandalwood and jasmine combo. This is like nothing ever created. And I'm talking about the new one, the last reformulation, which is nothing compared to the original one. I'm actually trying to find one from the original batch between 1989 and 1992, because what happened was that at that time, Jean-Paul Guerlain, he wanted to create a fragrance that helped the House of Guerlain regain more success, because apparently they had 2 launches that were kind of a failure. So when they were preparing themselves for the new launch, which at the end was Samsara, they didn't want to cut corners. So even himself, he went to India to source the best of the best materials. He even sourced sandalwood oil in raw materials that were used for religious offerings. So it was like the best of the best. And he used like a concentration of 30%. Listen to this. Usually fragrances have about a 2-3% concentration of sandalwood oil. So the original Samsara had 30%. There, honestly, I've smelled hundreds, if not thousands, of fragrances in my life. And I can tell you, I've never, ever smelled something like Samsara. And unfortunately, the fragrance have been reformulated with the years. And what we have nowadays, it's a beautiful fragrance, absolutely beautiful. It has vanilla, ylang ylang, peach, sandalwood, very, very nice. It's rose, iris. It's a beautiful fragrance. And even if you don't have a chance to try the original one, if you don't have a chance to even buy a decan or something, at least this one will give you a hint of what that fragrance was. Like nothing, really. The original Samsara is unbeatable. It can't be compared with anything. If you like woody floral fragrances, right? It's more like an oriental fragrance. And it had a little bit of everything, like vanilla, sandalwood, peach, iris, rose, you name it. And Samsara had it. This one, unfortunately, it's not even close to that. Not even close, honestly. While the other one was like a 10 out of 10 in all departments, I would say this is like, the fragrance itself is like 9 out of 10, but it doesn't have neither the projection nor the sillage that the original one has. That being said, this is a massive compliment getter. Every time I wear this, people ask me what I'm wearing. And again, this is why I included this in this collection. Every time I sniff this, it's going back to memory lane. It's an amazing fragrance. As I said, I am in the look for the vintage one. So if I get it, I will let you know, guys, and I will make a full video just comparing the two of them, the original one and this one. Samsara by Guerlain. The next one on my list is Frederic Malle Edition de Parfums Iris Poudre. So this has been created by Pierre Bourdon. So this is the Edition de Parfums. So the house of Frederic Malle hired top perfumers. They created a fragrance individually, and the house Frederic Malle named each fragrance with the nose on top. And in this case, as I said, it was Pierre Bourdon. This is a beautiful fragrance. This is very similar to Samsara. This actually reminds me of Samsara a lot. It's beautiful. It's sandalwood, it's ylang ylang. It's a floral with some aldehydes, and but the aldehydes are just at the beginning. If you get past like the first half an hour, you won't get that. I personally love aldehydes. I love that vintagey type of vibe, and I love that fizzy vibe that only the aldehydes give. And I love this. Lots of sandalwood here. It's very musky as well. It's very creamy. It's very rich. It's very luxurious. Massive sillage. Projection is like beast, almost like Baccarat Rouge, I would say. And massive compliment getter. Again, it's a very, very absolutely beautiful fragrance, and especially good for winter nights. I don't know why, but in cold weather, I use this in summer as well, but in cold weather, it performs like to its best, no doubt. So try it. It's definitely worth a try. It's Iris Poudre by Edition de Parfums Frederic Malle. Moving on, guys. The next one on my list is Jasmin Rouge by Tom Ford. Oh my God. This is an oriental floral fragrance, very woody with lots of spices. There's a lot of cinnamon, cardamom, pepper is prominent here. It also has ylang ylang, it has vanilla, it has leather, very, very like subdued. It's not in your face. Even if you don't like leather fragrances, please don't be discouraged, because you will love this. This is one of the sexiest fragrances I have. It's no doubt a head turner, massive projection and sillage. I get like 8 to 10 hours on my skin. It's a beast. This is a beast. It's especially good in summer, in winter. This is very heavy for summer. Although some people may wear this in summer, I don't see why not? But it's a typical, to me, this is a typical winter fragrance. Oh God, it's very spicy. It has a lot of neroli as well. I think the neroli, similar to the orange blossom, but it's not quite the same. And I think the neroli gives this fragrance like a something uplifting. I don't know. I love, love, love Jasmin Rouge. It's such a well blended fragrance. I think this is one of the best jasmines in the market. I personally love jasmine. I love white flowers, especially gardenia and jasmine. I have smelled quite a few jasmines, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that this one is one of the best. It's very creamy as well. Usually jasmine fragrances are airy, more fizzy. This is very creamy, almost lactonic. There's no milk here, but I feel it is so creamy, so rich that it feels almost like lactonic. It's very cozy as well, very sexy. It's like, it's a beast. Check. All departments, check. Jasmin Rouge by Tom Ford. Guys, 160 by Molinard is my next one. This fragrance is a challenge because this is like resetting my olfactory senses and start from scratch again. This is such a different fragrance that nothing you have learned before or nothing you have smelled before can tell you or can prepare you to what you will smell when you get your nose on this fragrance. It's super, super feminine, super sophisticated. It's a flirty fragrance, but it's also mature at the same time. It's creamy, it's sweet, it's fruity, but it doesn't have fruits. So that's the weird thing. It has sandalwood, it has oak moss, it's dewy. It's a dewy fragrance. So I think the oak moss is doing the trick here. It's super, as I said, it's super, super different, very sophisticated. It has great sillage and great projection, but at the same time, it's very soft. So you have kind of the best of both worlds, right? Because you have like a beast in performance, but you have a super soft, creamy, sexy, sophisticated, and feminine fragrance that it's almost like a skin scent. It's super, super beautiful, very, very different. The bottle is beautiful with crystals. They are Austrian crystals because they sparkle a lot. I don't know, here you can see the sparkle, but they are very, very sparkly. The packaging is amazing and the fragrance is so, 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 so nice. It smells, I tell you, smells a little bit like a ripe fruit. I can't pinpoint what fruit, but it smells a little bit like a ripe fruit, but in the good way. Don't misunderstand me. It's super, super unique. If you have a chance, try it. 160 by Molinard. So guys, the next one, I already talked about this one before, and it is Montale Crystal Oud. I've tried to include fragrances that I haven't talked about before. Like, I would have like at least 10 more that are great for winter nights, and they're massive compliment getters and head turners. But I try to pick fragrances that I haven't spoken about before. But there's a caveat to this. I can't make this list without including Crystal Oud and the next one. So Crystal Oud by Montale, I think this is my favorite of the house. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. It's a fruity, woody, oriental fragrance. It has melon, it has green apples. It's to die for. Patchouli, sandalwood, saffron. I think there's some cinnamon here as well. It also has wood, of course, and white musk. It's a beast. Projection is also a beast. 10 out of 10. Sillage, 10 out of 10. Scent, 10 out of 10. It has the typical Montale DNA, which is very controversial. Some people don't like it because they say it's very synthetic. I don't care if it is synthetic or not. If I like a fragrance, I like the fragrance. And what I care about a fragrance is about how it makes me feel, right? And this is a fragrance that makes me feel like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But when I wear this, I feel like powerful. I feel like sophisticated. I feel like in control. It's such a beautiful, super, super sexy fragrance. I usually get a ton of compliments from men when I wear this. They seem to like it a lot. And give it a try. This is one of the most underrated fragrances of the house of Montale. Nobody talks about this. and I think it deserves a credit. I've been using this fragrance for over 10 years already, and this is one of the few, because it's very rare that I repurchase a fragrance. I always want to try new things, and this is like my third bottle or fourth bottle, I don't know. I keep on buying and buying and buying. No, more. I've been using this for 10 years, so for sure it's more than 3 or 4 bottles. This is one of the few that I keep repurchasing. Crystal Oud by the House of Montale. And the last one, guys, and certainly not least, is Moon Dance by Juliette Hassagan. This belongs to their luxury collection, the luxury line. Look at the packaging. This is like a lacquer type of box with a metal plaque here, and when you open, you can find this beauty here. This is how the fragrance looks like. It is a stunning fragrance. Oh God, it does smell a little bit like I wouldn't say like grandma or stuff like that. It smells a little bit like vintagey for me, which I don't care because I love vintage perfumes, and I think they have a like an all Hollywood type of glamour that no modern scent has. And if you like that type of vibe, you will absolutely adore this. This has patchouli, bergamot, rose. The rose is very, it's prominent, but it's not like over on your face. It has violet as well, tuberose. Let me tell you, I don't like tuberose, but I've discovered that depending on how well it's blended, I may like it, because I have many fragrances, including this one, that have tuberose in the composition, and I love them. So I realized it really depends, and everything boils down to how well the notes are blended. And this is a masterpiece to me. Really, it reminds me a lot of some fragrances my mom used when I was a little kid. This projection is a beast. Sillage is a beast. Checks all the departments. This is like to die for, guys. Everybody loves this. And like the magic happens after about 2 hours, like in the dry down as well. And once it dries down, it stays like that for hours, like literally like 10 hours, 12 hours, even to the next day. Needless to say, on the clothes, it stays forever. Amazing fragrance. Patchouli is prominent here. You have to like patchouli, you have to like rose, and you have to like vintage vibes. If you are in that category, you will certainly love this. It's an absolutely beautiful fragrance. I think this is I think I like Juliette Hassagan, and I have quite a few from the house, but I think that this one, nothing compares to this one. This is the most refined, the most like upscale looking and upscale smelling from their entire collection, even within their luxury collection. And look at the back. The back is like a mirror glass. It's beautiful. It's heavy. The fragrance is like 10 out of 10. So beautiful. But again, it has some vintage type of vibe. It's perfect for winter nights. The colder the nights, the better this will perform. And I cannot rave enough about this one. This is another one that I plan to repurchase when I run out of it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you try some of my head turners. If you do, please let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing and giving me thumbs up. That way YouTube will show my video to more people, and I'll be able to grow my channel to keep delivering good content for you. Stay safe, stay blessed, and talk to you soon. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.